How's it going, everybody? James from FTR Outdoors. We got Devin manning the camera today, and we are back with another Tacoma video. As promised in the drawer system build, I said we would do a taco walk around later on in the year. We ended up doing that winter camp trip, so you saw a little bit of the Tacoma there and a little bit of the off-roading that we did, nothing too crazy. Today though, the point of it, this video, we are going to do a full walk around of the build, of what we've done to it, why we did it, and a price breakdown. A lot of videos out there show you, I know from personal experience looking online, oh yeah, I could do that with my truck, you know, it'd be so easy. They never tell you the price. It's not cheap, and I don't have that much done in comparison to a lot of these other guys out there, but I can confirm that it is not cheap. So we will start here. I'm gonna go right from the very beginning. We've had the truck, or I've had the truck now for coming up on 3 years. It's got 75,000 kilometers on it. We are Canadian. So if you're listening to me talking kilometers versus miles, and then every dollar amount is going to be Canadian dollar versus US dollar. So I've had this for close to 3 years. It's a 2017 Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road. And as you can see, it is the access cab with the long box. Yeah. The reason I got the access cab instead of the extended cab, it's because in the off-road model, at least so far in the 3rd gen Tacomas, you're given the option of the access with a 6-foot box, or the extended cab or long cab with a 5-foot box. To me, the 5-foot box is just a little bit too small. I don't have a rooftop tent, as you can see, and we'll get further into the reasoning with the long box after. But being an off-road, it's got the locking rear differential, the crawl control, the multi-terrain select, and all the other off-road features, which we have used. We got to use it a couple of weeks ago during the camp trip, and it's all very useful. So we'll start with the first modification. We're actually gonna start at the back here. The first thing I wanted to get when I bought the Tacoma, right from day one, was a canopy. This is the LEER 100XR. It's got the sliding windows with the mesh, as well as the carpet liner and the Thule tracker rack system on the top. The reason why I wanted a canopy, A, I like the look, B, I wanted to sleep in the Tacoma. Another thing worth mentioning, the first year of owning the truck, we did nothing to it. We drove it, we kind of figured out what we liked, what we wanted. Another thing with this is you can't really see inside of there. I used to store my gear on long trips just in the box out in the open with some tie-down straps on it. It's not a good feeling when all of your gear, especially because we all have probably expensive gear, is just sitting in the back of your truck for everyone to see and walk by and potentially take. We do a lot of fishing. I park my truck on the side of the road in a lot of places. This is just a nice peace of mind. Out of sight, out of mind. If you wanted to get in it, you could, but you're more than likely not going to try. So we bought this 1 year into owning the truck, or roughly 1.5 years into owning the truck. This configuration costed 3,500 Canadian dollars. So there's your first dollar amount. Not cheap up here in Canada, brand new. If you can find used, awesome, but 3,500 bucks for the first mod. Once we got this, I knew right away that I wanted to kind of kit out the canopy to make it more usable for what we wanted to do with it. So the goal of the truck build is an overlanding, touring, fishing truck. It's not a hardcore off-roader. It's more of a touring truck. It can go off-road obviously, but that's not really the ultimate goal of it. So up here you'll be able to see I've got the Prinsu top rack on here for the 6-foot canopy. It mounts directly into the Thule tracker racks. That rack system costed about 1,000 to 1,100 Canadian. So there's your second price breakdown. That was the second piece of equipment that we bought. The third was this awning. This is the ARB Touring 8500 series awning. That's 8500 mil by 8500 mil. So it's 8 foot by 8 foot. I wanted the 8-foot awning I just don't think the 4-foot awnings are that practical, to be honest. This actually gives you a pretty substantial area of coverage, which we'll show you after. It's still pretty light. It sits to the truck very streamlined, and then it's mounted to the Prinsu rack with the universal awning brackets made by Prinsu. The awning costed about $550 Canadian, and the brackets another roughly $100 Canadian. We'll go up to the top again to kind of see what we got up there. We'll show you some B-roll footage of that. But up top we have TreadPros by ARB. They're very similar to MaxTrax. It'll be the direct competition. It's the ARB TreadPro. I got those on sale for $350 Canadian for the set of 2. Absolutely fantastic deal in comparison to the normal price, which is about $500, $550. We have used those many times this winter. I keep them on my roof all of the time. They actually work fantastic. I'm pretty confident that with those and a shovel you can get out of pretty much any situation. On the other side of the rack, we will show you, I have just like a universal mounting plate. It's not a specific Prinsu one, but it is bolted like a Prinsu. And then on there we have Rotopax. I keep a 20-liter Rotopax water jug and a 20-liter Rotopax gasoline jug. We mount those together on the same mounting pad. One of them I keep the water, the other one I don't keep gas for the truck because it's got a pretty big tank, 70-ish liters, and I've never had a situation where I need that much gas. I actually put mixed gas for my chainsaw up there, so we always have a chainsaw. And it's good to have gas rather than carrying it in your chainsaw case or throwing it in the back of the canopy. You can have it on the roof. Works great. The price on the Rotopax, I don't really remember. I think with the pins, the jerry cans, the mounting bracket, I want to say it was close to 300 Canadian dollars. So not expensive, but also not inexpensive. You could just go buy some regular old jerry cans. We'll come check out the back of the truck. Rig. You have all seen, if you've watched the Tacoma build video, we built a sleeper system for the back here. This is it. We've got some gear on there right now. It's not really set up for sleeping, but it's all complete. That costed us about $250 Canadian. Plus I forked out another 50 Canadian dollars for these foam pads. These costed I'd say 25 bucks a piece. They've got an R value of 2.2 or 2.8. So it's just gonna add a little bit of extra warmth. As we live in Canada, it's cold 8 months of the year. So it's good to have. The trifold mattress on there was an Amazon purchase. It works perfectly. It fits fantastic for the dimensions of the Tacoma box. And that costed, I think, 150 bucks Canadian dollars. So that's the gist of the sleeper system. The reasoning for it, like I said at the beginning, when I bought the Tacoma and the 6-foot bed, I didn't have plans to put a rooftop tent on it. My garage space is limited. I personally am not a huge fan of a lot of the rooftop tents out there, and they're also very expensive. So this combination of coverage with my gear, as well as being able to hop in and sleep in here like that anywhere I go, is absolutely fantastic. It's about 6'2" front to back. I'm only 5'11", 6 foot tall, so I fit quite nicely. And if you were to sleep diagonal, a guy like Devin, who's 6'8", 6'9", could also sleep in here decently as well. So that was the reasoning for that. We had a comment in the Tacoma, in the build video that we posted in regards to the drawers and why we went with the hardboard. The drawers weren't loaded up, so it was kind of a hard visual, but we'll show you now why we went with the hardboard. These drawers slide very easy. They come in and out, well, with one hand. You could probably use one finger if you really wanted to. We keep a 20-liter water jug up at the front there, which isn't in there now, but it doesn't really make a difference. Everything fits in here perfectly. And the weight's dispersed instead of having it at 4 points if you had wheels. Yeah. The wheels also, you got to think, you don't have a lot of headspace in here. It's not that tall. As a wider guy, I want as much room as I can. You add wheels in here, you're adding another 1 to 2 inches of height to the system, which is going to take away from your headroom. Or
taking 1 to 2 inches off the drawer height.
Yeah, so which again, if you see the drawer height here, this is our French press. It's just a standard Bodum French press. It fits perfectly. Everything fits perfectly, which is fantastic.
We'll see how that tears down over time, but it's easy just to pull the hardboard bottom off and put a new hardboard.
Yeah, this is like a first build. This was meant to be a budget build, and easily buildable for most people. We don't have a lot of tools. We don't have a big shop, big garage, and this was an easy project. The other side, same deal. This one's actually quite heavy and loaded up, but it slides perfectly well. The next thing you'll see here while we're in the back is this. This is the mountain hatch. It is a tailgate insert, overpriced, I will say. This takes out the factory ridged tailgate that the Tacoma comes with and replaces it with a food grade plastic tailgate. You can use this as a cutting board, a flat surface for cooking. It's got cup holders. It's awesome. It is really, really usable, especially when you want those quick in and out trips where you don't want to set anything up. You can just use this as your table. You can wipe it off with a wet rag, some disinfectant if you've been cutting meat or something on there, and it's clean and ready to go. This costs 550 Canadian dollars as well. So relatively expensive for a piece of plastic, but I mean, they did it. They're charging the money for it. People buy it. I like it. So that's that. It's a great buy. It works awesome. Black, obviously, it looks clean. You can get funky colors, orange, red, black on red, that kind of deal, but I like the clean look of it. So that's basically it for the back of the truck. As you can see, we got lots of stickers and stuff just to give it some character. We'll go to the next modification that I did, which was basically an impulsive mod, but it looks awesome in my mind. We got these wheels here. These are the Method 701 race wheels. Well, they're a 16-inch diameter, same as stock, by 8.5-inch wide, I believe, with a 0 offset. I went with these because I love the look. To me, it looks like an old school kind of Toyota Land Cruiser look. It's got the triangle cutouts. They're big, they're burly, and it has a way more aggressive wide offset in comparison to the stock offset on the stock wheels. I believe the stock wheels at plus 25 or plus 26 offset. So this actually pushes those tires out quite a bit more, and it looks a lot more aggressive. The tires that we have on here right now, we're still running stock size. We live in Canada. Our winters are brutal. Roads are always icy. I've just got some Nokian Hakkapelitas on there. They're the Hack 9s. And sorry, price-wise for these wheels, your typical pricing, you're gonna look at 350 Canadian dollars a wheel. I paid for the set of 4 mounted balance with the tires on there, everything said and done with lug nuts, 1,100 bucks. So I got a wicked deal with it, but the pricing now for these 350 Canadian bucks a piece. The tires, you're looking at 1,100 bucks for a set of 4, and that's in the 31-inch diameter. 265, 70, 16 is what I'm running. These will come off here in the next, I don't know, week or 2, and in the summertime I run Duratrax. I do run my tires in the exact same size as factory, just given the fact that we put a ton of highway miles on the truck, and I'm not really in the realm of re-gearing it, nor do I have the interest in re-gearing it and doing a cab mount chop right now. This is my daily driver, so I really like to push to people that are buying these things. If you're buying it as your only vehicle and as a sole daily driver vehicle, be careful with what you modify on it, because as is, they're not that comfortable, they're not that powerful, they're kind of a dog on the highway. Wheels and tires play a big role in that. All the weight that you put on it plays a big role in it. As is right now, this truck drives as close to factory as I'd ever want it. It's perfect in my mind. So for now, I won't be going up in tire size. So if you're thinking about it and you're on the fence, in my mind, for what we do, touring, no crazy off-roading, long road trips, forestry roads, river access, stuff like that, this is absolutely perfect. While we're down here, we'll go and show you one of the biggest modifications that we've done to the truck so far. So what we have going on underneath the truck, which is the biggest and most fun modification that we've done to the vehicle so far that I've done, is the suspension. This is a suspension system that you probably haven't seen much on YouTube in terms of building Tacomas. It's Canadian made. It's called Elka. They started out making snowmobile, quad, like sled suspension, and then they went into like the larger truck and pickup truck and started making suspension for pickups. This is a absolutely insanely fun, awesome suspension system. It's the Elka 2.5 with the external reservoirs. It's got about 2.5 inches of lift all the way around. It's got high speed and low speed compression adjustment, just like King suspension, Fox shocks, Old Man Emus, like the BP51s. The big difference is it's Canadian made, and it's made of stainless steel and aluminum. So up here in Canada, with all the salt, the change in temperature, these things are absolute beasts. Fox shocks tend to have issues up here with our weather sways. We go anywhere from plus 30 in the summer to minus 35, 40 in the winter time consistently, with a lot of salt, calcium, kind of weird, gross stuff on the roads. So those are the shocks. I've had those in for about 6 to 7 months now. They absolutely transformed the truck. The most functional thing I've done to it. Pricing for these guys, now this is including everything, 8,000 Canadian dollars. So not cheap. So when you see guys with big shocks and big suspension systems, then you got to think of everything else that comes with it. So the full package was 8,000 Canadian dollars, but worth every single penny. When I talk about the kit and the full package, what you got to think about is in the back, you're also looking at leaf springs, upgrading the leaf springs from stock. You can do an add a leaf. It depends on your budget. We went with the Dobinson USA heavy duty leaf springs, just to support extra weight. This truck is always loaded up. I've always got things on the roof. I've always got gear in the back. I've got the sleeper in it. So I went with the heavy duties. And then I've also got the Timbren Industries progressive bump stop with the U-bolt reversal kit back here. We were having issues bottoming out, so why not fix that? In the front, you can see the reservoir as well. It's also a 2.5 inch reservoir. Down here we got the dials. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but we'll get a close-up shot for the high speed and low speed compression. Adjustment, upper control arms. I had the option of keeping with stock, but I decided to go with an upgraded upper control arm. They're the SPC adjustable upper control arms. Along with the suspension, I also did a differential drop, a carrier bearing relocates. The only other thing I could have done but didn't do yet is the needle pin bearing in the actual CV axle. I decided not to swap it with the clamshell bearing, the clamshell bushing, sorry, just because I didn't want to spend the extra $500. Looking back now, I'm probably going to do it just for the longevity of the truck, but that's the thing that has yet to be done. So all of those components combined were 8,000 Canadian dollars. So that's a big purchase, but these things are going to last forever. They're totally rebuildable, and in terms of usability and fun, best modification I've done to the truck. You can go fast. You can go fast and you can go hard, and these things are going to handle it.
They're built for it, right?
They're built for it, and I would argue these things should be up on YouTube more. They are directly in competition with King shocks, Fox shocks, BP51s, Icons, and I would argue they're better, given the fact that they're Canadian made, which is awesome for us up here, and the stainless steel and aluminum components for the weather shifts, as well as just how they drive. Great purchase, super happy with it, highly recommend it. If you guys want a review video strictly on the Elkas with like specs and more information about it, we'll do it. We'll beat the hell out of them in a video and just show you, because there's not really anything on YouTube in regards to Elka. The guys here in Alberta that install it install tons of it though. Like these guys are selling out of Elka. There's a huge wait list for it. They're awesome. So enough about that. We'll go to the front. Easy Mods, cheap Heritage grill. Everybody knows the Heritage grill. I bought this one. I bought it from Running for Tacos. It's fantastic. It looks the exact same. It's been on there for close to 2 years now. It was like 300 bucks versus 550 for the OEM. Super awesome. Looks way better than the stock, especially because the 17 came with the chrome one. The next thing that we got up here, shout out to another Canadian made company. That is our full engine skid plate made by Green Lane Off-Road Fabrication. That is a Canada-based company. They're out on Vancouver Island. It is a 3/8 inch, I believe, aluminum skid plate, full engine skid, so front skid. It's fantastic. I love supporting Canadian companies. Price on that, again, 550 Canadian dollars. Absolutely worth it. I don't have full underbody protection. I'm getting by with this. I've hit it a couple of times. Basically where I'm at is if I hit the front skid, I know I'm gonna hit everything else underneath it, so I just back up and I reset. Don't typically get into the realm of having to scrape the bottom, but 1 or 2 times it's happened and I'm happy that I have that. So $550 Canadian for that. As you guys can see, the price is getting up there. That being said, we'll go into the next modification and then the final modification, which is probably the most obvious on the truck. I forgot about one thing, which is the next one. But on the top, we've got a solar panel mounted there. I've just got the GOALZERO Boulder 30. They're super rugged. You can order them on Amazon. I've had it up there for about a year now. 30 is just the watt output. It only puts out 30 watts. I've seen it put out as about like 39, 40 watts. But I have that mounted on there all the time, and it's running wire into the cab of my truck, and it's plugged into a Jackery 240 power box. It's fantastic. The 240 works great for me. We got a light bar in here. We can power the lighting in here. We can power our chargers for our camera batteries, gimbals, drones, phones, all of that. Last year we were on an 8-day trip using equipment every day for that, including my lights. And just with that 30 watt solar panel, we kept everything charged up, the camp lit up, without the battery going below 68, 67% the whole trip. And that's just on a 240 watt hour battery, so fantastic. The solar panel costed about 100 bucks Canadian, and the battery cost about 300 bucks Canadian. Up there, mounting wise, we just bought hardware for it. Final major modification, which I think is the most unique and statement piece of the truck, is the truck. We did a vinyl wrap on the truck, my dad and I. He does a great job with this stuff. We decided we wanted to wrap it. He's been doing this for a long time, hadn't been doing vehicles as often, and decided the truck looks sweet, we're doing a lot to it, why not make it look sweeter? So this is 3M 2080. Yeah, we're not going to tell you the color, you can figure that out. I like it being unique, it's personal to me. But we did this, basically my dad did this with us standing around and watching for 2 days. It took 2 days, maybe 10 hours a day, front to back. We paid for the vinyl. We're not going to tell the pricing for that, but you're looking at for a vinyl wrap job here in Canada for a vehicle like this, you're looking at 45 to 5,500 Canadian dollars. You might even be looking at more, 6,000 Canadian dollars. Not necessary, but it's a statement. It looks fantastic. This is the most unique Toyota Tacoma on the road around here. Absolutely, I haven't seen anything like it up here in Canada. Nobody's looks like this. You can tell the FTR rig, you can tell my truck away from anybody else's vehicle because of this. vinyl wrap job. It's been on there for 5 months, 6 months now. It's holding up great, other than the obvious rock chips that we get on our road. But one thing that we'll send you off with is you don't need all of this stuff. There are many Tacomas out there with twice or 3 times the amount of work done to them that I have done to this, or than I have done to this. I just don't think I need a lot of things that a lot of people have. This to me is a fishing truck. It takes us on our trips. We have a blast with it. It gets us anywhere. At the end of the day though, we're in a campsite that's easily accessible with a Honda Civic. Just use what you got. Take this as motivation to piece out, oh, maybe I want a canopy, maybe I want an awning, maybe I want suspension. But at the end of the day, you don't need it. Just have fun with it though. If you want to build a truck like this, make it personal to you. Don't do what everybody else does on the internet, because none of that shit matters. Do what you want to do. If you want to do what I did, absolutely. If you want to throw 35-inch tires on it, absolutely. Do what you want to do, but just have fun with it. So we'll leave you with that. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Throw a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe. There'll be plenty more videos of us out in the truck. I hope you guys enjoy watching us use this thing. You're gonna see a ton of footage of this thing over the next little while. So thanks guys, get outdoors.